Welcome back, everybody. I hope you all had a wonderful, restful, refreshing break. And now we begin the afternoon session with two more papers. And the first speaker, Ludvik Kalus, will be introduced by yet another of our students from VCU Qatar.
Assalamu alaikum, Masa al khair. Good afternoon. I'm Al Jahara, an art history honor student at VCU Qatar. It's my privilege to present today Dr. Ludvik Kalus, Professor Emeritus of Islamic Medieval History at the University of Paris-Sorbonne, and was the Director of Studies on Islamic Numismatics and Diplomatics. Born in the Czech Republic, Dr. Kalus is a renowned expert in epigraphy, numismatics, and sigillography, which is the study of seals and ancient documents, a word that I had to look up despite being an art history major. In the last 15 years, he has focused his research on Arabic epigraphy in Southeast Asia and recently published a monograph on Indonesian inscription. He is the founder, designer, and director of the Thesaurus of Islamic Epigraphy and bring together all of the inscriptions in Arabic, Persian, and Turkish up to the year 1000 of the Hijrah. Without further ado, presenting his paper, The Spread of Islamic Inscriptions in East and Southeast Asia, which will discuss an overview of epigraphic material on tombstones in East and Southeast Asia that I'm looking forward to hearing. Please welcome Dr. Kalus. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this introduction. Well, we have to do rather quickly because we shall start in Indonesia and we have to arrive until Beijing. After its first victories, Islam was gaining progressively new territories. It was through military conquests or by peaceful contacts. In the East, it's a region, roughly the region we have here. Commercial contacts by sea played the main role in the establishment of Muslim colonies in the new regions, in the Islamization of the native populations, and finally in the creation of new political entities based upon the Islamic order. The countries affected by this process are today's Indonesia, Malaysia, Brunei, and in the past, also at least partly, Thailand, the Philippines, and China. From this penetration, there are still archaeological vestiges, a lot of them bearing inscriptions. These are most often in Arabic, but also in Persian, and in Malay, and even in Chinese. The most numerous remnants are the tombstones, but there are also some foundation inscriptions or restoration inscriptions. In the Middle Ages, the Muslim merchants from the Red Sea or from the Arabo-Persian Gulf were the masters of the sea roads throughout the Indian Ocean and further towards China. These roads were already known before the Islam, but from the 7th century onwards, these sailors and merchants became the messengers of the new religion, Islam. Their first firm contact in this, for them, very mysterious world was the island of Sumatra. Well, oh yes, it's here, the island of Sumatra. In the northwest on this large island, we found about 440 inscribed tombstones, now registered and published. The start of this epigraphic tradition took place in the Sultanate of Pasay, around the present-day city of Loxemave is somewhere here. This sultanate was founded around 1280 and disappeared in the beginning of the 16th century. On its territory, for this period, about 140 tombs have been counted, mostly royal tombs. Some very important cemeteries can be found until now. I have chosen 3 tombstones, interesting. Yeah. This one is in the cemetery Tunku de Ballet, always around Loxemave. This is dated from 1355, and it's special because of the epigraphy, because of these elongated strokes, and there are some strokes joined at the top like here. But it's very special, it's nothing typical. What's surprising that it is the oldest one in this region. Now, at Lubo-Ruseb Cemetery, the tomb of an unknown person has a very decorative distribution of the text. That's why I show you it here. Now, this one is in a cemetery called Minyet Tujuh. It is normally 2 stele grave. One stele, this one, has an inscription in Proto-Malay language with Kawi script. It's also the Proto-Malay script, which also later gave birth to the Javanese script. This is dated 1318. The other stone, because I said it's a double tombstone, it has inscription in Arabic language and in Arabic script, but the name of the deceased is the same. In the 15th century, the tombs of the members of the royal family of Pasay are very numerous. Between them, there are a dozen tombs made of white marble from Cambay in Gujarat of India. Some of these tombstones are really monumental and are totally covered next to the epitaph part of the inscriptions. They are totally covered by inscriptions from Quran or from Arabic poetry. Here we have the marble tomb of one of the descendants of the penultimate Abbasid Caliph from Baghdad. But this descendant is from the beginning of the 15th century. Very beautiful tombstone, also in marble, white marble, belonging to a ship captain, is dated 1420. Its inscription is in Arabic, but it has also a long poetic fragment in Persian. In the 15th century appears, always in the western part of Sumatra, a group of tombstones of a particular style following an ancient local tradition. We call this style pyramidal. The text of the inscription is usually very short because there is not a lot of room. It's composed of hadith and of some verses from Quran, and in several epitaphs there are the titles Raja or Sri Raja, which means prince. So these were also tombstones from a royal family. Another epigraphic development in the northwest part of Sumatra comes in the end of the 15th century and in the first half of the 16th, with the creation of a new sultanate around Banda Aceh. In several cemeteries there, some 150 tombs are still in existence, among which a great number are again royal. The most important cemetery is this one, it's Kuta Raja, and you see these huge tombs. It's covered with inscriptions, and well, you can imagine here the photographer, and behind the photographer there are again about 8 tombs like this which we can see. Still in Indonesia, the island of Java leaves us only few inscriptions. But we have to mention the foundation text in a mosque called Al-Aqsa in the city of Kudus on Java. It dates from 1549, and since it is of a special importance, we will come back to it at the end of this paper if we have time. In today Malaysia, the oldest Islamic inscriptions are quite singular and does not yet enter into the Islamic epigraphic system as such. The eldest is a decree dated from 1303. It is in Malay language but in Arabic script. I don't have a photo of it, but we shall see another one. This one from Pengkalang campus is a commemorative inscription, partly in Arabic. It's the left side, this side, and partly in Malay, except the first line. It's Basmala, and it's written in Arabic script. Otherwise, in Malaysia, we have several tens of inscribed tombs, typologically quite heterogeneous. In the south of Thailand, there is a Patani region on the border with Malaysia, and there was in ancient times Malay Islamic Kingdom. Well, we shall see one tomb. In reality, there are two like this. It's in Arabic. It's written upside down, but it's like this. And it can be dated from around 1500. We read there a litany of religious formulas, Shahada, beautiful names of God, and a Quranic verse. But one of these tombstones has a text saying, the grave of Malik al-Adil ibn Muhammad, and this one, and relying upon local tradition, we suppose that this is the tombstone of the founder of the first Muslim kingdom of Pattani. This is also in Thailand at Pintu Gajah. It's very particular influence. The style is influenced by the local tradition, and it is also datable from 1500. The text is only religious. On the northwest coast of Borneo or Kalimantan, there is the Sultanate of Brunei. In the middle of the 14th century, came there to power the Muslim royal dynasty of Bolkiah, still on the throne. Nowadays we can find in Brunei about 40 tombstones, dating from the 15th to the 16th century. The language of most of the inscriptions is Malay, but it should rather be qualified as Arabo-Malay because of the numerous Arabic words originating from the religious background. Most of the inscriptions in Brunei, but also in almost all the region we are speaking about, these inscriptions are written in cursive script. Here is a very good example. This is not surprising because our epigraphic material is mostly from the 14th to the 16th century, I mean for the whole region. And we know that the use of the angular script, we saw its birth this morning, the use of this angular script called Kufic ceased at around 1200. That is why the most remarkable element in Islamic epigraphy in Brunei is the use to write some epitaphs in Malay language, is the use of a kind of square Kufic script. Normally, in this period, the square Kufic was only used as a decorative writing. But in Brunei, in this peripheric region, a new dynamic was given to this old type of script. The reason of this phenomenon may be due to a Chinese influence. The square Kufic reminds us of the Chinese script. This exceptional tombstone, still in Brunei, is attributed to the wife of the Sultan Bolkiah. And here we can see this angular script together with several levels with the cursive script. In the 14th century, Islam reached also a part of the Philippines. The only known inscription tombstone there in Arabic is dated 1310, and it is located on Jolo Island in the Sulu archipelago. I was told there are other tombstones, but it's really impossible to go there. Now we arrive to China. At the entrance to the southern China Sea, several Muslim tombs have remained in place till now on the island of Hainan. It's here. It was there that the ships had their first contact with the Chinese world. On that island, at least 15 inscribed tomes can still be found. They would date around the year 1300, with one exception. This tomb, because of its angular script, could be dated around the year 1000. If we follow the Chinese coast, we reach Canton, Guangzhou. There today only few inscriptions remain. One of them is a restoration inscription dated 1350. Its text is in Arabic, Chinese, of course, we can see it, but also there is a small part in Turkish. It's in Arabic script at the end of the part in Arabic. This is just to join a Turkish calendar to the calendar of Hijrah. This multilingual aspect, we have here 3 languages. It reflects the cosmopolitan nature of the trader society of Canton. But it was the port of Chenzhou, we shall see it later where it is, that from the end of the 10th century to the middle of the 14th century, Chenzhou was to become the port most populated by Muslim traders. Probably in the beginning of the 11th century, a mosque, a big mosque, as you can see, called Masjid al-Ashab was built there. As we learn in the restoration inscription dated 1310, the mosque was later enlarged by a certain Ahmad ibn Muhammad al-Qudsi, al-Shirazi, but it has nothing to do with Qudus, I'll speak about later. Gradually, Muslim cemeteries were built in Chenzhou and around, but they do not exist anymore. Fortunately, numerous tombstones have been found in or around the city walls where they were reused. Thus nowadays, some 200 tombstones, whole or fragmented, are preserved. It's one of them. In the inscription there, with the name of deceased, there are nisbas. And we know that nisbas allow us to know approximately the origin of the person. And in Chenzhou, the nisbas show us that the individuals were originating from India, Afghanistan, Central Asia, Iran, Arabia, Yemen, and Palestine. So now we have the map again. We spoke about Canton, Guangzhou is here. Chenzhou It's just in front of Taiwan. This is the most important place. And there are also, we shall speak now, Hangzhou and Yangzhou. And we remember that here is Beijing, because now we shall leave the map. In Hangzhou and Yangzhou, today we register no less than 40 inscribed stones from the 14th to 15th centuries. The epitaphs are in Arabic, but there is often an addition in Persian, usually, of course, a poetic fragment. The appearance of these tombstones constitutes a typical Chinese style of Muslim graves. This one is from Hangzhou, the date 1316. The next one from Yangzhou, dated 1302. It's inscribed on both sides. In Beijing, the capital, the oldest and most famous mosque, no, it's the Libaisi Mosque. There, within a small wall, 2 tombstones are built in. Here we have one of them. They are dated from the end of the 1st century. And this proves that in China, the Muslim presence was not limited to the coastal regions. The maritime travels of the Muslim traders eastwards came to an end in China. Here is also the end of our quick epigraphic survey, but I would like to add some words, as I promised, about the inscription from Kudus on Java. This inscription records the foundation of a mosque and is dated 1549. In the inscription we read, "The Al-Aqsa Mosque," you have the whole text here, but I only shall read what's important for my commentary. "The Al-Aqsa Mosque and the city of Al-Quds, Jerusalem, were built by a caliph." Then somewhat later we read, "has founded this blessed mosque called Al-Aqsa, the caliph of God on the earth that will be present at its term on the throne, Sheikh of Islam and Muslims," and so on. Thereafter are listed the numerous qualities, spiritual and religious, of the founder, whose name is Ja'far as-Sadiq. We know that it was the 6th Imam. I will not comment it. It would be very, very long. It was published with the commentary. But I would like only underline only that in the inscription there is an allusion to the city of Jerusalem, Balad al-Quds, and to the famous Al-Aqsa Mosque located there. This statement sets a parallel between the recently built mosque in the Javanese city Kudus and the foundation of the old city of Jerusalem, Al-Quds, and of its Al-Aqsa Mosque. Did the founder want to dethrone Jerusalem by creating in Java the true most remote sanctuary This is the meaning of the term of Al-Aqsa. Or did he only adopt it as a model? Would the local community have tried to create a new balance, considering that from now on there would be, in this new, most remote region, a new Mosque Al-Aqsa? Of course, I can't give the reply. Let us not forget the men who were actors of this progression of Islam and had the courage to go forward in this adventure from which many never returned, as it is shown by the tombstones we just mentioned. And many men disappeared, of course, without having a tomb. Islam does not forget them, as is told in one of the Prophet's hadith. Man mata ghariban faqad mata shahidan. Whoever dies a stranger dies as a witness to the faith. During their long navigation, several weeks sometimes, the conditions of these traders and sailors in their ships, often overloaded and crowded, were difficult and precarious. The weather could be also very inclement, so they had to choose the right season in relation to the monsoons. There were also pirates. Because of all these dangers, they knew that the only good protector for them would be, of course, God. In the neighborhood of Quanzhou, the town in China I spoke about, there is a funerary spot named the Holy Tombs. To this site is attached a legend which attributes two of these holy tombs to two of the Prophet Muhammad's disciples who arrived long ago to this region. This is the legend. This funeral location has become a pilgrimage site. These two deceased men were hailed as saints. In a restoration text there we read, people believed in them because of their blessings. So when they experienced vicissitudes and felt weak and irresolute, they implored the help of these two saints and concluded a pact for the term of the pilgrimage at their graves during winter because of monsoons. Thus they benefited from it and went back home safe and sound. So before their departure, they used to intone prayers to ensure their sea voyage without troubles. They put their trust in God, and the faith in divine protection multiplied the courage of these brave, very brave traders and sailors. Thank you.